This movie serves as an introduction to the areas of expertise that are required of a project manager. We'll get into more detail within the movies that follow, but what we'll touch on now is an overview of project managers' primary skill set. There's often a misconception of what it takes to become a project manager. Many tend to think that a project manager's background must be rooted in the technical expertise or industry of the project they're managing. Many become project managers by default because they were good at what they did, so they were later assigned the task of managing a project within their department. But some of the qualities that make up a good project manager are similar to those that make up a good manager overall. Like a manager, just because someone is good at what they do does not mean that they have the skill set to manage other people, so you can have a stellar employee who does not make a stellar manager. Again, the same applies for a project manager. In fact, it is more difficult to find a well-rounded project manager because the skill set that is required of them is so broad. So you may now be wondering, what makes up this broad skill set? Well, the answer is simple and big at the same time. The simple part of it is that the project manager applies 5 areas of expertise, and the big part is that the 5 areas encompass a lot. Well, let's go over the 5 areas briefly. The first is Pmbok, or the Project Management Body of Knowledge. At this stage, you already know a lot about the Pmbok on a high level, and the contents of this course revolve around it. So for this reason, I'll only say one thing about it now, and that is that the Pmbok encompasses aspects of the 4 that will follow. In other words, you must apply numbers 2 to 5 to put the Pmbok into action. The second is Application Area Knowledge, Standards, and Regulations. We'll go into this one in detail during the next movie, but I'll let you know that application areas involve specialized aspects of a project, such as technical elements and specializations. The third is General Management Knowledge and Skills, which cover many things that a business owner would be required to know. While it's not expected for a project manager to be fully versed in each department and function of a company, they need to know enough of each discipline, and we'll be covering that in detail later on in this section. There's a tendency to downplay the importance of interpersonal skills. In reality, this holds a critical list of skill sets that without, a project manager could not succeed. We will be covering this in detail, but I'll share with you that one of the skill sets on this list is communication. 90% of a project manager's time is devoted to communicating, so you can imagine the outcome of a project manager who is not strong in this area. And the final one is the project environment, which refers to the social, economic, and environmental context that a project exists within. And that concludes our overview of the 5 areas of expertise that a project manager must hold in order to effectively manage projects. As we move through this section of the course and go through the areas of expertise important for a project manager's success in greater detail, it'll help to keep the others in mind. And this is the reason that we first took the time to touch on them briefly, which was to help you understand how they work together and how all 5 are necessary for effective project management.